Hello world, my name is Al. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those who have subscribed, for those who have liked the videos and posts, thank you so much for your support. I'm so humbled and grateful. I'll be talking about the family lineage in this video. And before I get going, I do want to say for those joining in for the first time, I'm being guided to share my awakening journey with you all and help you see beyond the veil of someone going through this experience in real life time. So that said, I did ask the ancestors if it would be okay to share the family lineage, and they said yes, it's fine. So I know I am protected by my ancestors, and I now have ringing on the right side of my ear. So yeah, that's a sign from like the male side of the house. So anyways, I'm being protected. That said, magic runs in the family. My mother's side of the family has healers, and my father's side, at least I know of a grandparent, or at least my father has shared, there's a grandparent who has had prophetic visions. So magic runs in the family. And on my mother's side, she would share stories about going to her grandparents' house over the summertime, between school years, and remembering people coming over to his house and having healing sessions done. And she would remember and tell stories about it. And I had asked her, what else did he do besides healing? And she had shared that he also made jewelry. So working with gold and gemstones and crystals as well, which I thought that was pretty cool because I know I like crystals as well. So that said, I know that that was pretty cool to learn about. My father, he shared a story with me about having a healing session done when he was a young age. So when he was about 6 or 7 years old in the town that they lived in, he was playing at the river, and someone at the river had put a curse on him. So his parents ended up calling the local healer to come to their place and to do a healing session for my father. And the healer that ended up coming over was actually my great grandfather, my mother's grandfather on my mother's side. So I thought that was pretty cool to learn. Little did he know that many years later, he would be marrying the granddaughter of the one who had healed him. So I thought that was a cool story to learn. And just in general, my mom has always had dreams growing up. And I remember her heeding to the warnings in these dreams and telling my sisters and I about like staying away from certain things, or go here rather than there, because in her dream something bad happened. For example, we were to go to a lake one day and go boating, and my mom had stopped my sisters and I and had reminded my older sisters, make sure you watch your little sister, and she has her life vest on, because I had a dream of her drowning. So, my mom would have dreams in that sense as well. And just in general, the magic that was always there, and in our day to day, or in our family rituals. For example, my grandmother or my aunties would bring out the needle and the thread, and whoever was pregnant in the family, they would put the needle and thread over their pregnant belly to see if it was a girl or a boy. Little rituals like that. Putting out a plate for the ancestors whenever there's a big family gathering, and making sure that the plate was out there before we even all ate or gave thanks and prayed, because we wanted the ancestors, it was a nod to the ancestors. Rituals or superstitions that we've had just growing up, that was always there. We grew up with that in our family. And I just learned, recently, that my father's last name means to reap or to harvest. And I just found that so fitting as I'm going through this journey and connecting the dots, that I'm harvesting these gifts. I'm harvesting this abundance of these gifts that are unlocking for me as I'm going through my journey as well. And also knowing and putting the signs and connecting the dots of talismans that have been in our family. So we have this special seed that was blessed by grandparents who are healers, and it was passed around in our family as a sign of protection. And I know that my entire family has these seeds as well. And so just believing in the magic. And I know that my mom has always shared, your great grandfather was also a religious man, and I know the balance between the magic and him being a divine channel for doing the healing work, and then also the faith of believing in the Most High as well. And I know I have my own special relationship with the Most High, divine source too. So I respect the family lineage and that it runs in our family, and then also the faith as well. And, believing in whoever you believe in as the Most High. So that said, I know that at least for me personally, going through an experience when I was such a young age, I ended up having a healing session done on me when I was about like 4 or 5 years old, preschool age. And I was scared. I remember my father being there, my mother being there, and a grandmother who also had a chicken with her. And no, the chicken was not hurt, but a healing session was done on me, and I always wondered, what the heck was that? What was it for? Why was it done? Did it even work? I would even ask my parents through the years along the way as I'm remembering that experience. And I know my mom would always get mad every time I brought it up, because she would say, that was your father wanted that done, go ask your father. So I think because of that experience, I always just innately had that magic, and always was so curious and always wanted to search for the truth and that quest for what is beyond the veil, because I know there's something else out there. So that was a personal experience for me growing up. I know that also I'm able to, look at the texture of a wall and see faces or objects or things coming out, seeing the patterns on a wall, or even on a tree bark, seeing patterns and animals or a face popping out at me, or looking at the clouds and seeing things come out at the clouds. So I always had this in me at such a young age, not knowing what it was, or not knowing that I was able to do this as like part of the magic as well. And I've always had high empathy growing up too, and I've always been attuned to the energies. So stepping into a room or a house and just feeling the vibe and knowing if the vibe was off, and having my alert system like, caution, warning, something creepy is here. So that has always just been with me growing up innately as well. And also being able to communicate with the deceased. So if someone passed away in the family, or a friend had passed away, I would put it out there, to say, hey, if you're going to come visit me, please visit me in the form of a butterfly, a white butterfly, a monarch butterfly, a dragonfly, a horsefly, a ladybug, a hummingbird, a squirrel, a rabbit, a crow, whatever. And then hours later or days later, that animal, bird, insect, whatever comes across my path, and I would know instantly it was that person that I had requested for them to show up as. And I would say, hello, goodbye, thanks for visiting, head towards the light. So that was always my form of communicating with the ones who have passed away as well. And especially within the last year, people who have passed away that were close to me in my life, they would end up turning on electronics. So it's gotten stronger now. Rather than animals or whatever, it's now electronics being affected in energy-wise in the house. And for my friend who passed away last year, who I believe helped trigger my awakening, as I'm grieving her, she visited me in the form of turning on a TV in the house without anyone around it or the remote being there or whatnot. It just randomly turned on, and no one was around to be able to push the button on the remote. So I knew it was her instantly when it turned on. And then 30 minutes later, I received the text message that she had passed away. So I just knew then that that was an experience. And then also another, there was a coworker who had passed away. Again, the TV turned on, and you know, I had family that was there, witnessed it, and they witnessed both incidents, by the way. And yeah, I just knew right then and there it was the person, the coworker who had passed away when that happened too. So, as far as my own healing capabilities, I can't say for certain if I helped out. I could probably ask the ancestors and my spirit guides and spirit team to see and confirm. But I know that for my friend who passed away, she only had 3 to 4 months to live, and she survived 17 months. And I know during that time when she had first told me about her diagnosis, I put so much energy towards her, and I put so much love and support and just the vibes towards her throughout that entire time. So I can't say for certain if that was a healing gift of mine. In the back of my mind, my intuition is saying, yes, you did help. You helped prolong it, but I'm too um, uh, humble to claim it, in a sense that I helped her, when really it's the most high divine source that helped her, that helped her have more time to prepare, or to spend time with her family and take her rounds to say goodbye to her friends too. So I know that was an incident. And also people in the family who have been diagnosed or have gone through um, uh, like medical issues, I've always put the energy towards them as well, and to help them heal. I do it from afar. I'm not the one that goes up to the bed or, to the person. Of course, if I do see them, I'll give them a hug, and then just, in my mind, also push the energy and healing vibes to them. So I can't say for certain that I've helped them. And I don't want to claim it, but I'm always going to say it's the divine that's helping, and I'm just channeling it through, in a sense. So I feel like, as I'm going through this journey, I'm being called to that line of work to be able to heal in that way. I know I have learning to do. I still have a lot of learning to do, and a lot of ways to grow in that field as well. So that's kind of part of my journey. And I do want to say that without the help of these professionals who have helped me in my Akashic readings or my healing sessions, I couldn't have done this without them. They help activate things in me, or remember who I am, or be able to communicate with, passed on loved ones who, for example, my grandparents coming through, my grandfather or my grandmothers, my great grandmothers coming through and saying that they're proud of me, and keep it up, in a sense of me carrying the torch for the family and this lineage and this line of magic that we have in our family. So I'm doing it for them, but I'm also doing it for myself too, because it's also my soul that's being called to this as well. And just the divine, working through me, in a sense, as well. And I remember in a healing session that I had, done for me recently, that I had unlocked a dynasty. And I know in a previous video that I have out there, I mentioned that I have Spanish roots and Chinese roots, and the dynasty was coming from the Chinese side. So being able to be that ancestral generational curse breaker for the family lineage, I'm holding it down for them in a sense. And because of that, they're now able to come forward and surround the entire family and protect as well, and including the dragons that come with it too. So I know I'm being protected by dragons as well. So that said, going and seeing these professionals to help see beyond the veil, I'm so grateful for all of them, every single one of them, to help activate something in me to remember and to go on my journey of carving my own path and forging the way for myself. So that said, I know that in a future video, I'll talk about my soul's ancestral line. So, you know, having ties to Egypt, for example, I thought that was pretty cool to learn as well. So I hope this helps someone out there. I hope this inspires you to go on your own journey if you're open to it. I hope that this resonates with someone out there of remembering the rituals, the superstitions that you grew up with, that your, you know, grandparents or your aunts and uncles ended up doing, you know, when you were a young age, and it just triggers these memories for you. And I hope this helps. So that said, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for your support, for tuning in, for riding this wave with me as I go with the flow. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much. Bye.